Hello and welcome to the 25 video that I'll be posting in my Unity platformer tutorial series. And in today's video, we will be talking about UI button scene changing, okay? And I'm going to create a level selection specifically for all of that. And currently, what we are trying to do right now is going to also program our start button right here to change from our title screen to our level selection scene. Okay, so today's video is all about changing scenes using the power of buttons. And the way we can do this is we can create a scene, and the way we can do that is by clicking on our file, new scene, save the scene in my scene folder, and name this level selection. Okay, and now go back to our title screen here, and we are going to go to the canvas here, and we are going to create scripts so that our start button here can actually be teleporting or changing scene from tile screen to our level selection scene. Okay, and the way we can do that is by going to our scripts folder here, go to our assets, click on our scripts folder, right click, create a C# script, and I'm gonna name this C# script something like main menu. Okay, and then in our canvas, I'm gonna right click this, right click, create an empty, and I'm gonna name this game object something like main menu so that we can know that these are the main menu. Then we are going to drag start title, about title, and crank to our main menu. And then we are going to attach our main menu script to our main menu. And basically the reason why I want to attach this to our main menu is so that we can create one script that controls over our start title, about title, and crank, instead of just creating one script for start title, another script for about title, and one more script for crank. And this is basically parenting, and main menu is parenting over start title, about title, and crank. So I'm going to go to my main menu script, double click it, and it's going to open Visual Studio. And I am going to type in some line of code here. So we are going to type in on the top here, we're going to type in using Unity engine.scene management, because we are going to change scenes, and using Unity engine.ui because we are dealing with UI elements. Okay, and in our void start, we are not going to type anything. And actually, this code is really going to be simple because we are going to create a function or method below our void update, and this function or method will be called public void play game. And the reason why I'm using the keyword public here is so that I can call out this method even though it is not in the script, because it is public. And if public, then we can use that variable or method inside of Unity. Okay, and inside of the play game method, I'm going to say we are going to change the scene from title screen to level selection. So we can do that by saying scene manager, and then we're going to say load scene, and it's going to ask us for which scene do you want to load. And I don't have a scene build index. Wait, I do, but then we can use the string scene name. So it's much more easier for me to identify. And we're just going to type in the name for our scene, and we want to change from title screen to our level selection. So I'm going to type in level selection. And as you know, always end with a semicolon. And now by doing this, if we click on our main menu here, it is attached with our main menu script. And if we go to our start title here, we can actually connect this without any programming. And the way we can do this is by dragging our on click here. As you can see, it's supposed to be list is empty. Click on the plus button here, and then it's going to ask us for runtime, don't change this. And we're going to drag in our main menu because it's going to detect the script, and it's going to ask us for a function. Then when we click on our function here, we can go to our main menu, and this is actually referring to our script. And as you can see, this is our play game method here. Click on our play game method, and Now we have attached our play game every time we click on our start button. As you can see, it's going to be on click. And we are going to go to our file right now, go to our build settings, and we are going to drag in our level selection inside of this, because for our build manager to actually work, we need to drag in all the scenes. So drag in our title screen and drag in our level selection screen. Okay, and then you can click on close here. And now if we click on our play here, we hover on our start button, it changes color. And if we click on it, as you can see, we have changed scene from title screen to our level selection scene. And that is how you change scene from one scene to another by using buttons. And now if we go to our file here, click on our save, go to our level selection, and we are going to program our level selection. You know what? The first step we have to do is create a canvas, and I want you guys to try and do this as part of a challenge, and that is to create your own canvas. Okay? So pause the video right now and try to create a canvas. Okay? So if you do know how to make the canvas, good job. You are already one step closer to programming your own or creating your own level selection or tile screen. And the way we can do that is by right-clicking on our hierarchy and going to our UI section and going to the canvas. And canvas is very important because it shows us the screen of the player, and almost all programming UI and anything that you want to relate with needs canvas. Okay? And then inside of canvas, I'm going to create a image, and this will be called background. And we're going to change the color from white to something like bluish. Okay, we're going to drag this to cover up our whole canvas so that our player will see the blue screen. And then I'm going to go to our canvas, right click again, and create a UI image. And actually, we are going to create a box of somewhat which contains numbers, and this will indicate that if the player presses the box with the number 1 on it, the player will go to the first level or game level 1. And I actually already prepared this asset, and I'm gonna create a folder right now, and I'm gonna name this level selection, because I'm gonna be putting all of my level selection assets in this folder. I'm gonna click on show in Explorer, and I actually already prepared this asset, and I'm just gonna paste this asset right here. As a matter of fact, give me a second. Show in Explorer. Click on it and paste. As you can see, I've prepared my asset already. And if we go to our level selection here, we can see that we have 2 levels or 2 squares with numbers on it. And you can use any other shapes that you want and be creative with your boxes or any shape that you want, as long as you can put this in our image here by dragging the image and clicking on the source image here, and then make sure you click on preserve aspect so that the image still has its original ratio. Click on our R here so we can go to our scale tool, and I'm just going to drag it here. Okay, and you can be more creative with this and decorate it more, but I am just here to show you how we are going to do it. One selection, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to name this to level 2 selection, and delete the side here. Okay, and then I can change the image from level 1 here to level 2, and we are done with creating our maps here. And we are going to go to our canvas again, right click, create empty, and I am going to name this game object game manager because this will manage our scenes. So I'm gonna click on level 1 selection, shift level 2 selection, so you can select all of them and drag it inside game manager. And now if we go to our assets, go to our scripts, we're gonna right click, create a new C# script, which is gonna be called level selection. Okay. And like before, I'm going to drag this level selection inside or to our parent game object, which is going to be game manager. And double click level selection so that we can program level selection. Okay. And like before, I want you guys to try to do this as a challenge because I've discussed this previously. So just try and create your own method here so that you can select or use the button component in our image so that you can change scenes. So pause the video right now and try to do the challenge. Okay, so if you successfully created these methods, like for example, public void play game 1, like this, and you created a method, and then you've created or added the code scene manager.load, and you've added here on the top using Unity engine.scene manager because we are going to manage our scenes and we also deal with UI components. So we're going to type in using Unity engine.ui. And for those of you who successfully typed in this using code right here and also added this method, good job, because this is very important because almost all games, when it comes to changing scenes, will use this method. Okay, so great job. But for those of you who don't know how to do it, it's fine. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna type in using Unity engine.scene management because we are dealing with scenes, and type in using .unity engine.ui because we are dealing with UI elements. And then below here, below our void update, you can create a normal method by typing in public void play game. And the reason why we want it to be public is because we want to be able to call this method using our button feature. Okay, and inside of this, we're going to type in scene manager dot load scene. And then what scene do we want to load? We want to load in our game level 1. And below this method, we can type in again public void play game 2, shift curly brackets, enter to create the form of the paragraph where all of our code will be executed. Scene manager dot load scene, and then game level 2. And if you have more than 2 levels, you can just type in public void play game 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. As long as when you type in the scene manager.load scene, just make sure that this here is the name of your scene. Okay? I'm gonna type in game level 2. And that is essentially it. If we control save this, go back to our game manager, go back to our level 1 selection, and we are going to add component here, and we're gonna add a button. Okay, in level 2, we're gonna also add a button, because if we don't add the button component here, it's just an image. Okay, we just need to add the button component. And on click here, click on the plus button. Make sure you drag the game manager because the game manager has the script. Click on the no function, select the level selection script, and click on play game level 1 for level 1 selection. And this is pretty self-explanatory. If your image is 2 or 3, then make sure you select your right method. Okay, so that means for my level 2 selection, I'm going to call in play game 2. And now if we click on our play button right here, if we click on our level 1 selection here, it goes to our game. And that is essentially it. But then as you can see, when we restart the game, when we die, we are still respawning in our game level 1. Okay? And that is essentially it for today's video, because I've covered up everything that you'll be needing or need to know when it comes to button scene management. Okay, last time I've recalled using sprites for our scene management, and that's our finishing point. And this time we're using buttons. And that's all that you're going to be needing when it comes to changing scenes using buttons. So make sure you type in using Unity engine.scene management, and just in case, you got to type in using Unity engine.ui, because you'll probably deal with UI elements too. And then create a method with the keyword public here so that we can call it inside Unity, not only inside the script. And then put the script inside our parent manager, our parent game object, and inside of it there will be 2 objects inside of it, so that when you click on this button, it'll be much more organized. And they are child game objects, which means that they can take scripts from the parent game object, and then just make sure that the one that you want for the button has the button component, and make sure you add a on-click condition here and just select your method. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys understand more about Unity platformer making, and actually that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys understand more about Unity platform making, and I'll see you in the next video.